Bro, the gaslighting be astounding. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about narcissism and gaslighting and how they justify themselves for cutting us off and or severing ties with us. The meek, tender-hearted, vessels of mercy, the pure in heart, the authentic, the pure in mentality, in their heart condition. Bruh, we gonna go over it. Yeah, we about to deal with it. The gaslighting is real. This is what they do. Oh my God, bro. I was in my head and I was talking to the Father. And just talking out loud. And just remembering like how people will twist everything around and demonize you, even when you're really demonstrating benevolent actions. Benevolent actions. Nothing but benevolent attributes and actions. Alright? And you do for others that which you will want done for yourself. So people see this about you. Yet, because of the living word that's living and residing within you, your benevolent conscience is leading and guiding you. This is what you give your humility to. Okay? Because I've given my humility to my benevolent conscience. Okay? Yes. Yes, the infinite benevolent conscience. Alright? Those of us that got a conscience, we know there is an infinite benevolent conscience. The source of conscience, okay, it's benevolent. This is why you get terrified when you get ready to do something that you know is contrary to your benevolent conscience, okay? That's called conviction. But many people have seared their conscience. Therefore, they no longer feel conviction. They done forgot about it. They done forgot about that feeling. And because they want to avoid that feeling at all cost, they will make you the enemy. They will demonize you by any means necessary. They'll find something, anything, to make you the villain in their story and in their mind, in their heart condition. So that way they have an excuse to cut you off and sever ties from you. Demonize you, label you as, label you as a devil, okay? Label you as the evil one. Label, like, here, let me give you an example, because this was in my mind. There was someone that's, considered a truther, alright, an activist truther, okay? And so she was a type of activist that did like weather modification information. She would like bring out information about weather modification and whatnot. So anyway, she took a liking to me or whatnot. Actually took the time to hear me out. Watched my first video that I put out. The Most High stopped me dead in my tracks from receiving a sex change or something like that. So after she watched that video, she reached out to me on Facebook, and that's how we connected. We started connecting that way. She said, "I'm very intrigued by your video," and whatnot. And so anyway, we kind of hit it off from there. And, I began, just giving her more and more, hearing as we go. All right. Answering her questions and whatnot. So anyway, long story short, everything was fine until it got to the point to where she don't want to believe that she has been lied to about who she is, okay? And we gonna talk about it, people, because this is dealing with a lot of so-called pale-skinned people. Okay, a lot of so-called pale-skinned Europeans, Caucasians, quote-unquote white people, whatever you want to call yourselves. Okay, I ain't no shade over here. Okay, but we gonna keep it real. All right, it's a problem for many of you, and I'm sorry. You were taught many lies, okay? And this is what it is for her, okay? This is what it was for her. This is what it was for her and what it is for another one that's my neighbor, okay? And, you know, and it's, bruh, hey, if y'all, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Okay, even if you take my life, I will stand firmly on what I'm saying. Okay, I would be in a much better place if my God allowed you to take my life. Okay, my spirit will be in a much better place. I ain't tied to this world. Okay, I am not attached to earthly things. Okay, I'm not attached to the physicality. Alright, you will be setting me free. Liberate me. Yeah. You know, my spirit would not be shackled and chained to this mortal fleshly body. Alright. So, I'm just saying, I don't got a death wish or nothing, but I'm not afraid. Okay? I would have been one of the ones in the Inquisition being tortured, refusing to recant that which I know. You're not going to force me to turn my back on infinite loving kindness and all things benevolent simply because I'm born into an evil existence. You can't make me believe that this is all there is. This ain't all there is, goddammit. Okay, so yes, since I was born into an evil ass existence, and all of humanity is trying to convince me that this is all there is, you will be liberating me to set my spirit free. Okay? So you can do whatever the hell you want to me. I have a choice to follow the dictates of my benevolent conscience. The benevolent conscience that's within all of us that get a conscience. So anyway, I didn't even get all off on that. I'll flow by way of the spirit. Okay? So anyway, long story short, this person, you know, at the time I called her a friend, you know, or acquaintance really, you know, she cut ties with me. And you know what she used as an excuse? The fact that I feed my cat regular cat food and I can't afford to get him vegan food. The fact that I can't afford to get my cat vegan food. I am a part of the torture and murder of the innocent creation. And the reason why she used this is because of the fact that I told her that we're not supposed to be eating the animals. But she wants to believe that everything eats everything. Oh, it's the food chain. Like, look, Gentiles, your time is up. It's not about what you think. It's not about what you believe. It's not about what you say. It ain't about your ideology. Okay? It's about the infinite benevolent conscience. Okay? And the seed of this land. The seed, alright, of the blessed promised land. Okay? That be the seed of his people. Okay? The remnant within the remnant. We are here. We're standing up in great boldness. We're letting you know that your time is up. Okay? I'm sorry that you don't like the way that I speak. I truly am. Alright? I know many people think, hey, you are arrogant. This ain't arrogance. Guess what? It ain't just flesh and blood and bone. Okay? It's spirit. That's what you hear. You hear in spirit. Alright? And yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Spirit takes precedence over the carnal flesh. The spirit is eternal. The flesh is temporary. So if you want to say that I think I'm better than people simply because I'm living the higher level, that's on you. But that ain't my mentality. That ain't my heart condition. Just because that's how you want to perceive me. I don't compare myself to people. Therefore, I'm not seeing myself as better than people. I don't look at reality that way. My reality ain't your reality, as a matter of fact. Because I don't live according to the flesh. I don't live according to the dictates of wicked mortal men. I live according to the dictates of the benevolent conscience. Okay? So, this is why you want to call me arrogant. Because I won't conform to this false-ass reality and do what you do. How the hell is that my fault? How the hell is it my fault? Like, bro, y'all, like, you refuse to conform to us. Therefore, you are the enemy. You're damn right. Yeah, you made me the enemy because I don't conform to evil. Okay? What is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with humanity? What is wrong with humanity? It's an evil ass system we were born in, people. An evil ass system. Okay? Where you seriously think that we're supposed to be okay with just being your prisoner of war. I'm sorry that y'all were taught that you were the pinnacle of great civilization. No, sir, no, ma'am. Your false-ass reality, your illusion, this illusion was built off of raping, robbing, murdering, plundering, pillaging, destroying, enslaving, reclassifying, perpetually oppressing, terrorizing the original seed of this land. To this day, you still got us as prisoners of war while you're ruling over us. You're trampling over us upon our own ancestral land. Oh, but you don't want to believe that this is our ancestral land. That's the problem with my neighbor. Don't she wants to believe that she's Native American, and she very well may be. All right, Native American, but that's not the same thing as American Indian. Native American is not the first people upon this land. No, American Indian. We, the seed of this land, the ancient seed of this land, that be me, my people that were reclassified as African American. We are the ancient seed of this land. And all nations came to this land to live their American dream at our expense. And you don't want to believe that we were once prominent. You don't want to know who we were before we went into this captivity, forced to live this false-ass reality. We're Cinderella, by golly. We're Cinderella. And our prince is coming. Our liberation is coming. You can't keep us in this captivity. You want us to believe so bad that we're nothing. And that you are the pinnacle of great civilization. Excuse me, sir and ma'am. Please point out to me, where is your great civilization? Where is it? Where is the justice for me and my people? How come we're just forced to lay our body as the ground and as the street for all you nations to trample continuously? We got no might in our hands to overturn this tyranny. All we have is the spirit. And we got the spirit. Because we chose to humble ourselves to our benevolent conscience. Yes, we follow the dictates of the benevolent conscience. We don't have hardened heart conditions. We are the tender-hearted vessels of mercy. And we have endured great tyranny for centuries. And the nations have all said, do not restore them. Do not restore them. I was getting ready to get on a freaking live. I didn't even mean to pick up my freaking phone and start recording. Like, bro, there's two people that I was wanting to get on their lives. First, Big Judah, and then B Mouse. I was gonna get on B Mouse channel. I really was. And then all of a sudden this word hit me. And I had to grab my phone and record. I'm going to look up the scripture, people. Because this is exactly the reality that we were born in. Woe unto those who build a city upon iniquity, and build a town with great bloodshed. This is what y'all did, okay? Like, many of y'all came to the Americas after we had been subdued by the worst of the heathen, okay? We have been subdued by the worst of the heathen, all right? And the worst of the heathen opened up this land and offered for all you nations to come to this land and live your American dream. And all while you got to live your American dream, it's been an American nightmare for us, and you've all been watching. Habakkuk 2:12. For the stones will cry out from the wall. You know what that is? That's letting you know who we are by stonework, by books that were written about when the rocks cry out. Okay? When the rocks cry out. Every time they dig, they're finding us everywhere. Okay? Even in the rocks, even in the stones. They got a niggerhead rock in this land. Huh, why is that? Why is North, Central, and South America was once known as a Negro continent? It was well known back in the day, before they started obscuring it. I want to try to regulate all so-called black people to Africa. Also, pale-skinned people is the ones that were populating all the freaking lands all over the earth first. Really, it wasn't the indigenous copper-colored people in all the lands. And then you created pale-skinned nations popping up no more than freaking 300 to 400 years ago. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by iniquity. Is it not indeed from the Lord of hosts that the labor of the people only feeds the fire? Do you really want to know the true meaning of this verse, this passage right there? The labor of the people only feeds the fire. Why is that? Because nobody likes working for money. Nobody enjoys working for money. So when you're working for money, that's fueling the fire. What is the fire? The fire is the evil existence that we were born in. Okay? Where everybody is forced to pay money in order to live on the earth. Okay? The brute force survival of the fittest, okay? Those who are the strongest, those who got the most powerful weapons, those who got the most money, okay? Those are the ones that's able to control the money, okay? Those who are the strongest with brute force, okay, with their military might and whatever, okay? That's how they control money, and that's how they control society. That's how they control humanity. Okay? And all of humanity is being complacent with that. Following right along with that. That's the fire. Okay? That's the fire. Is it not indeed from the Lord of hosts that the labor of the people only feeds the fire, and the nations weary themselves in vain? Why is that? Why is the nations wearying themselves in vain? Because everything that they work so hard for is superficial and trivial. Because it was all dealing with the carnal flesh, while they did not care about the spirit. Therefore, they're going to be accounted as spittle. And they're not going to be able to keep in or hold on to their possessions. Is about to be stripped from them. As if it never happened, as if they never had it. They're about to go straight to the tail. They're about to be seen as the scum of the earth. They're about to be in famine. They're about to be in much want and need. This ain't me pronouncing curses on them. No, they already accepted the curses. They accepted the curses when they chose to do the actions in which they did. Okay? When you choose to do an action, it has consequence. Okay? A cause and effect. Okay? Action, reaction. Okay? When you set out to do an action, it automatically has consequences. Okay? So, you nations have all of these consequences that's been storing up for you. Okay? Because you ain't got to reap any of the consequences yet. It's in scripture that you, as a nations, would be allowed to just build up your atrocities. Build it up, 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 build it up for centuries. Just record them, don't interfere. Just let them do what they do. Don't interfere. Yep, that's an Enoch. Just record their deeds. Just write down all their deeds. Just document every single thing that they do. But don't interfere. Hold on here. He gathers all nations to himself and collects all the peoples as his own. That's when they opened up these lands and said, hey, come live your American dream. Alright, let's go up a little bit more. Let's start at verse 2. The Lord answered me, write down this vision and clearly inscribe it on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the vision awaits an appointed time. It's been a period of time to where we are in that appointed time. Okay? It testifies of the end and does not lie. Unlike the world that I was born in that continuously lies to me, trying to make me believe I'm nothing because of my benevolent mentality and heart condition, that I'm not about selfishness, okay? I'm about loving kindness and all things benevolent. But you're trying to force me to believe I'm evil. How the hell am I evil when I treat my neighbor as myself? When I refrain from doing to others anything that I wouldn't want done to myself? Yet I get the most hate? I get all the scorn? I get all the ridicule? What kind of sense does this make? So hell yeah, you been lying to me my whole damn life. I am not the enemy. I am not the problem. You people love your darkness. You love darkness. You love evil. You don't want to embrace infinite loving kindness and all things benevolent. You don't want to love your neighbor as yourself. You don't want to refrain from doing to others things you wouldn't want done to yourself. You don't want to help out of your abundance of life-sustaining resources. You don't mind living a life of selfishness. And you want to impose your corrupted mentality and heart condition upon me. Vilify me because I don't want to live a life of selfishness, earning money for a living. Money ain't my God. Let's continue. Let's continue reading. Alright? It testifies of the end and does not lie. Though it lingers, wait for it. Since it will surely come and will not delay. Look at the proud one. Oh, they want to call me arrogant. They want to act like I'm the proud one. When I've been made to live a lowly lifestyle. I've been made to live in poverty. I've been made to go without my basic wants and needs. So how the hell am I the proud one? No. The proud one is the ones that get all the money, the status, the clout, the honors of mortal men. Yeah, the proud one is white Americans. Yeah. Oh, you so-called white Americans. Y'all been subtly fed a whole illusion. That white supremacy has got y'all in a strong delusion. Alright? You've been taught that you're superior. Alright? And you've been subtly fed this subliminally. Okay? Throughout this whole false ass reality. We were born into it. See, we were programmed to believe that we were nothing via the cartoons, the media, the all the television programming, okay, the movies, okay, everything diminished us but elevated the Europeans, elevated so-called white people, but diminished so-called black people. Oh, it told a vision, all right. Okay? And so y'all got a big head. Y'all got swelled up in your pride and your arrogance. You were given many handouts to where you were able to get, you were given the economic floor. Yes, the United States government gave you an economic floor. Gave all nations an economic floor over us. Alright? So yeah, I look at the proud one. His soul is not upright. Of course not. You're not connected to the infinite source of benevolence. You're not connected. You're not connected to infinite loving kindness, and nor all things benevolent. No, You are in rebellion to that. You are in rebellion to infinite loving kindness and all things benevolent. Your soul is not upright. When you seriously think that we gotta stay in this captivity while you are ruling over us, where you don't want to know the truth about who we really are, when you don't want to know the truth about who you really are, why is it hate for us to reveal who you really are? Why is it hateful for us to reveal who we really are? Why are we being called racist for uncovering your racism? That's gaslighting, people. That is gaslighting. Okay? You cannot call the victims what happened to them. Okay? Racism happened to us. So therefore you cannot call us racist. We are still enduring your racism. Alright? Which is more so a caste system. Okay? But it was built off of racism. Alright? Because you singled out a specific group of people. The original seed of this land. Okay? We were singled out. And race was created in order to use it as a weapon against us. Therefore, we cannot be racist. Okay? No. The blame for racism goes on the people who created race. We had no hand in creating this social construct known as race. Okay? Time's up for this deception, people. You're gonna stop demonizing me. You're gonna stop demonizing the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy, you brute beast. You are brute beast, living in your carnal flesh, carnal minded. All you care about is pleasing your carnal flesh. You are a brute beast. You're a walking spiritual zombie. A literal walking spiritual zombie. Look at the proud one. His soul is not upright. But the righteous will live by faith. Clearly, I'm living by faith and not by sight. I don't earn money for a living. The labor of the people only fuel the fire. So why would I put in my time, energy, and effort doing that? Why would I put my physical time, energy, and effort fueling the fire of this evil existence that I was born in? Why would I join in continuing that? Why do you keep demonizing me for spending my physical time, energy, and effort freely giving this spiritual clarity and understanding so that you can have a benevolent option? So that you can receive the divine benevolent protection from the destruction of this system that's imminent to happen. Okay? Look at the proud one. His soul is not upright. All about money and materialistic things. But fuck your neighbor. Let every man for himself. His soul is not upright. But the righteous will live by faith. I don't earn money for a living. So I am dependent upon my God for provision. That's living by faith. And wealth indeed betrays him. That means the one living by faith for real, would be in poverty, would not have any money, I have $1.92 on my Cash App. And I have 62 cents in my checking account. And I have a lonely penny sitting here on my desk that I picked up off the ground yesterday. Alright? And wealth indeed betrays him. Now, the proud one, he is an arrogant man, never at rest. He is an arrogant man, never at rest. Those that have the physical wealth, they're arrogant and they're never at rest. They don't have real peace. They don't have real inner peace. He enlarges his appetite like Sheol, and like death, he is never satisfied. He gathers all nations to himself. Let me go back and read that again. He enlarges his appetite like Sheol. See, they fucked up our scriptures too. Because they started verse 5. Where it says, and wealth indeed betrays him. Actually, that's supposed to go with verse 4. Alright, that's supposed to go with verse 4. And look at the proud one. It starts in verse 4. I see their manipulation in which they did to our scriptures, and how they switched to his evil by how they manipulated the scriptures and the verses here. Like verse 4, look at the proud one. His soul is not upright, but the righteous will live by faith. Okay? They kept it like that because they want to claim that faith is just belief. Faith is mere belief. It has nothing to do with your actions. They don't want to believe that faith has anything to do with your actions. Alright? Because they want to say that they got faith in God, but yet they're earning their money for a living. Okay? So they don't truly get faith in the God that they're professing. No, they got faith in God we trust. Alright? And then it stops right there. Alright? The righteous will live by faith. Okay? Then it picks up in verse 5. And wealth indeed betrays him. He is an arrogant man, never at rest. So they want us to believe that those who are in poverty is the ones that's arrogant. How the hell are we arrogant when we're forced to live in poverty because we don't have money? And we have no physical might in our hands. Y'all need to stop it with the gaslighting. Your time's up. Because you see, we're here now and we're able to see very clearly. And we're instructed to bring out these messages by way of the Spirit. Alright? He enlarges his appetite like Sheol, and like death he is never satisfied. That's the worst of the heathen. That's those that establish the economic system. Okay? That's your Federal Reserve. Alright? That's the people who establish themselves in authority over all humanity and all creation with the Chevron doctrine. Okay? Which connects to the doctrine of discovery. Alright? That they just got their freaking authority from the Pope, who sent out a decree that it was okay to just invade non-Christian lands and do whatever the hell you want to do upon those lands despite the inhabitants of those lands. Okay? Rape, rob, murder, plunder, pillage, slaughter, destroy, enslave the inhabitants. It don't matter what you do to them, for they don't have souls to begin with. They wanted to believe we didn't have souls. So it didn't matter what the hell they did to us upon our lands. Okay? This is what they did. Okay? So, and they're never satisfied. They came over to the prosperous, abundant lands, and they're never satisfied. They're constantly raping the land. Okay? There's no end to their greed. Alright? So it's like a bottomless pit. He enlarges his appetite like Sheol, and like death he is never satisfied. He gathers all nations to himself. You know why he did that? Because he's never satisfied. Then he wants to sit back like a king while all nations come live their American dream. And guess what? In order to live your American dream, you gotta pay the worst of the heathen that's sitting back like a fat cat. And he's never satisfied. That's why you get the price increase. All right. That's why your cost of living continues to increase. Okay. This is why homelessness is increasing. This is why starvation is increasing. This is why poverty is increasing. Because those who set themselves up in authority over all humanity and all creation, they ain't got a conscience. Okay? He gathers all nations to himself and collects all the peoples as his own. You sold yourself out to the worst of the heathen when you earn your money for a living. When you earn and save and pay money for a living, you're paying these wicked people. So when you spend your time, energy, and effort earning what you're paying to them, guess what you're doing? You are enslaved to him. Okay? And you have made yourself his slave. Okay? I'm a prisoner of war. Okay? I'm not a slave to money. I'm a prisoner of war, enslaved to necessity. Because I'm in a mortal physical body. So clearly I need human necessity in order to sustain my fleshly body. But you want to force me to believe that I'm evil because I won't put in my time, energy, and effort to earn what the worst of the heathen created from the plunder and pillage that they stole from me and my people, using it as a weapon against us. You want to believe that I'm evil because I won't conform to just bowing down and being a slave to money for my living. You want to call me evil because I actually do have faith in benevolence. I have faith in infinite loving kindness and all things benevolent. See, I don't belong to the worst of the heathen. But all you people that chose to obey and pay the worst of the heathen so that you can have their permission to have access to Pleasure Island, okay? All of you, hey, you going to receive the reward of the heathen, okay? You going to receive what the heathen is about to receive, okay? But as for me, I'm not going to receive that reward. No, I'm going to receive a different reward because my actions has been different. And we're all going to receive according to our deeds. We're all going to receive according to our actions. Our reward is going to be directly attached to our actions that has been accumulated over our lifetime. Okay? This whole time that we've been upon the earth, okay? And even maybe including all our past lifetimes, okay? Because I think this is the great judgment that's coming. This is the great judgment that's here. We're at the culmination of all things, okay? Oh yeah, this is over the generations, people. This is over the generations. This ain't just in our lifetime. This is covering all this whole time frame of the times of the Gentiles. Okay? The Greek era time, the Roman era times, and the revived Roman era half a time. Okay? That which we were born in. Okay? And we're at the end of all of this. Okay? We're at the culmination of this. Will not all these take up a taunt against him, speaking with mockery and derision? Don't you all scorn me? Haven't I not been scorned the entirety of my life? Woe to him who amasses what is not his. Y'all came over here raping, robbing, murdering, plundering, pillaging. All right. Well, the worst of the heathen did this. Okay. The worst of the heathen did it, and then opened up. A lot of you Europeans did this. Okay. You need to find out about your bloodline. Okay, you need to find out about your generational curses. Okay, you need to do some research on your forefathers. Okay, because it matters what your forefathers have done, because all of their sins have been passed down to you when you have not remedied the sin. When the spoil is passed down through the generations, understand the curses are attached to that spoil. Okay. If wealth has been passed down in your bloodline, in your generation, okay, in your family, all right, you want to find out where that wealth came from, okay? Because all of that wealth came from raping, robbing, murdering, plundering, pillaging, destroying the seed of this land, okay? So, woe to him who amasses what is not his. Everything that you built for yourself, everything that you didn't earn, all of that is in vain. Okay? Because you're over here on a land that does not belong to you first and foremost. Okay? It was the worst of the heathen that opened up these lands unto you, and they didn't really have the authority to do that. They were only allowed to do that for a certain amount of time. Okay? So, woe to him who amasses what is not his, and makes himself rich with many loans. Is this not what the United States corporate government been doing? Didn't it make itself rich? Didn't the United States corporation make itself rich with many loans, having so-called African Americans as the collateral for the debt system? All right? Making many loans because it is a bottomless pit. Their greed is endless. How long will this go on? Will not your creditors suddenly arise, and those who disturb you awaken? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. We certainly disturb their spirit. Okay? We disturb their spirit, bro, because we speak by way of the spirit. They done seared their conscience. They hardened their heart condition. So all of this time when we were sleeping, when the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy, when the spiritual people were sleeping and we didn't know who we were, we didn't have any spiritual clarity and or understanding, they had peace. They were able to have some form of their carnal peace, their carnal security, because they didn't have to hear their conscience. They didn't have to feel any kind of conviction. They got peace from conviction. Okay? So they were able to just keep doing that with all of this evil that they've been doing and never have to feel bad about it. Never have to think about it. Never have to think about the evil that they're doing to us. Okay? But now we're disturbing them because we have stood up in great boldness. All right? And now those who disturb you awaken. We have awakened. But you still want to keep acting like we don't exist. You want to keep acting like we don't exist. But we've been spiritually awakened by way of the Spirit. Then you will become their prey. Wow. My brother Big Judah been bringing out how it's time for the hunters. I ain't no hunter. I was a fisher this whole damn time. And they just took down my Facebook out of nowhere, literally claiming that my Facebook was hacked. I've been on there for over 10 years. My whole life on there. And they just gonna disable my Facebook out of nowhere after I upload a video. Gonna lock me out my account, talk about verify your identity, start security steps. Really? So, and every single time they send a code to my phone, I enter the freaking code and it reroutes right back to that verify your account. Start security steps. It won't go past that screen. Verse 8. Because you have plundered many nations, the remnant of the people will plunder you. Because of your bloodshed against man, and your violence against the land, the city, and all their dwellers. This is talking about you Europeans who've been raping, robbing, just taking whatever the hell you want for yourself for generations. Okay, and acting like you're just the pinnacle of great civilization, survival of the fittest, manifested your destiny. Okay? Yeah, you manifested your destiny, all right. Okay? KKK, all of this, all your freaking white supremacist groups that you got, okay? You know what you've done. You know what kind of hell you've wrought upon the indigenous seed of this land. Woe to him who builds his house by unjust gain, to place his nest on high and escape the hand of disaster. You have plotted shame for your house by cutting off many peoples and forfeiting your life. You forfeited your life when you chose to take our life. When you chose to create a nightmare for us so you could live your American dream. You forfeited your life at that moment in time. And the only way that you can redeem your life is to supplicate us, is to help us, restore us out of your abundance. And if you don't want to do that, then you gonna have to go with the fact that you forfeited your life. Okay? Your only salvation is to give back what has been stolen. Okay? Your only salvation is to begin to show real love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity by your actions. Okay? If you have an abundance of life-sustaining resources, yes, it would be wise to assist the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy that don't earn money for a living. It would be wise to begin to take your place as a righteous am. That's benevolence. Okay? It's not gonna hurt you. It would benefit you. But it's about your pride. It's about humility. It's about humbling yourself to the Holy Spirit and the Spirit of truth. You have to let go of the ideology of this world. It's been subtly ingrained that every man for himself. That if you don't earn and save your own money, you don't deserve a handout from anybody. You gotta let go of that wicked mentality. The worst of the heathen do not own this land. Okay? And they have the original seed of this land as prisoners of war. So you want to start showing compassion unto us. Taking your place as a righteous am is righteousness. That's benevolence. Okay? Therefore, you will redeem your life. Okay? Ain't nobody come die to save you from your accountability for your actions. You have been lied to. Okay? Nobody came to take away your accountability for your actions. Everybody is going to reap exactly what they have been sowing. Alright? For the stones will cry out from the wall, and the rafters will echo it from the woodwork. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by iniquity. Is it not indeed from the Lord of hosts, the benevolent of spirits, that the labor of the people only feeds the fire, and the nations weary themselves in vain? For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of infinite loving kindness, and all things benevolent, as the waters cover the sea. All right? Now you're going to know that it was never about money. No, it's all been about your mentality and your heart condition. It's been a giant test. This existence was a giant test. But you put all your time, energy, and effort trying to create a successful life for yourself. All right? And many people did create a successful life for themselves. They consider themselves successful adults and responsible adults. Okay? It's you that think you are so righteous. And it's you that persecute the meek, tenderhearted, vessels of mercy. You're going to have to humble yourselves and repent, because this knowledge is here. Okay? It was the worst of the heathen that made everything about money. So the fact that you followed after that ideology only shows that, you were weak. Okay? You were weak. That's not an attack, but it's the absolute truth. Okay? It's like a big bully. Like on the movie Friday. Debo. Okay? Shaking down all the brothers in the hood. Okay? Everybody in the hood afraid of him. Okay? Because of his brute force. Alright? Nobody wanted to stand up to him. Okay? Because they didn't want that beatdown. But there was one that went ahead and was like, screw this. I will not be punked in my own damn neighborhood. I will no longer be punked in my own damn territory. That was Craig. He stood up and he was like, no more. And he went ahead and he took that beating. But he ended up winning. Okay? I mean, why do y'all keep joining with a bully against us? That's like joining with Depot when Craig stood up to save the neighborhood from the big bully. At least in the movie, he had the neighborhood on his side. But in this reality, those of us who are the Craigs, all of humanity have stood with Debo against us. So yeah, the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of infinite loving kindness and all things benevolent, as the waters cover the sea. Y'all time is up. Jeremiah 22:13. By the way, let me let you know that was Habakkuk chapter 2. Okay, we started at verse 1 and we read all the way to verse 12. Okay? Jeremiah 22:13. Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness and his upper rooms without justice. Have you given us justice for real, white people? After you then stood around and burned us alive, lynched us in droves, okay? Lynched us so much y'all were sending postcards to one another. Y'all sent postcards to one another, bragging about how you tortured and lynched us and did all kinds of heinous things to us. Y'all got pendants of feeding our babies to alligators, using them as alligator bait. Like, y'all did the most heinous things to us. Y'all played the games like hit the nigger, baby. Alright, at the carnival. These are things that happen in this land. Okay? These atrocious deeds that y'all don't want to talk about. You just want to ignore it as if it never happened. But don't you realize that this left scars and wounds upon us that's never been healed? You don't care about that? That don't matter. It don't matter that we got scars and wounds that's never been healed. That don't matter. That don't matter to you. That don't matter to you people. That we got open, gaping wounds that's never been healed. You don't want to give us any solve. You want to be a part of the nations that say never restore. Do not restore them. Never restore them. Why is it that you are so hateful towards us? When we are the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy that is literally demonstrating that which we speaking. Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, and his upper rooms without justice, who makes his countrymen serve without pay, and fails to pay their wages. Woe to you, Isaiah 5:8. Woe to you who add house to house and join field to field until no place is left and you live alone in the land. Oh, there's people like that. Yeah. Here in this land. They want to make it white only. They want to make it white only communities. Ezekiel 22:27, how we're treated amongst them. Her officials within her, these are the people that set themselves up in authority over us, are like wolves tearing their prey, and we've been their prey, shedding our blood and destroying our lives, all for dishonest gain. James 5:1-6. Come now, you who are rich, weep and wail over the misery to come upon you. Your riches have rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you, and consume your flesh like fire. You have hoarded treasure in the last days. Your time is up. You're done. Warning to the rich. Come now, you who are rich, weep and wail over the misery to come upon you. Your riches have rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and consume your flesh like fire. You have hoarded treasure in the last days. Look, the wages you withheld from the workmen who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened your hearts in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the righteous who did not resist you. Unto this day I am not resisting you, to shut up your bowels of compassion unto me. All because I refuse to bow down and earn money for a living. You have a benevolent option to overturn your corrupted mentality and evil heart condition. My God has the ability to transform your wicked mentality and corrupted heart condition. Yeah. All you have to do is humble yourself to the rebuke, to the reproof, via the Spirit of truth. All you have to do is accept the living word via the Spirit of truth. Apply it to your life and live it. Be obedient. Help the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy This is how you receive real salvation. He will be merciful unto those who show mercy. He will give empathy unto those who are empathetic. He will protect and shield all who have a loving mentality and heart condition. For real, for real. No pretense, people. Time's up for hypocrisy. Time's up for pretending. See, you can claim that I'm a pretender all the hell you want, but you can't prove it. As a matter of fact, I've been proving to you that I'm not a pretender, and you can't prove me wrong. So that means that you're the liar, not me. I don't live a lie. I live the truth. I live the true reality. You are living the false reality. Okay, so it doesn't matter your perception about me. You are free to believe whatever the hell you want to believe about me. That don't make it the real reality. Okay? Just because you want to perceive a certain thing about me don't mean that's within my mentality or my heart condition. Okay? You may want to actually get to know me. You may want to actually judge me based upon the fruit of the Spirit, not your vain dogmatic belief system, not your vain perception. Okay? Shalom.